What's up, everybody? It's your boy CB back at another video. It's been a while since I did a video on how to get better at aiming in Fortnite Mobile, and I have some great new tips that I think will be very helpful for you guys, and they've helped me a lot, so I definitely think this video will be worth your time. You know I'm not trying to waste your time, so I'm going to get right into the tips. My first tips is to find the best settings for you personally. Everyone's a little different, so there's no perfect settings that work for everyone, but in the recent video I did on settings, I recommended a touch sensitivity between 20 and 40, and I kind of want to go back against that. I've been looking at a bunch of different mobile players, and I think that honestly somewhere between 10 and 30 is probably a better range, especially if you're trying to get good at aiming. The lower your touch sensitivity in general, the better your aim is going to be, especially with shotguns and that kind of stuff, because that's the only setting that affects shotguns. But when you're targeting aim with like an AR or something, that's the targeting sense. And that, I've seen so many different things that I can't even recommend a good number. Just know that the lower those numbers go for your touch sensitivity and your targeting sensitivity, the easier it will be to aim and hit shots. But it could result in difficulty in building and like moving around your screen quick, so don't put it down too low. I will say though, I've seen really good players that have their overall sensitivity at like 5%, which to me is just like ridiculously crazy. I play in like the mid 30s, and I don't really think of that as high for sensitivity, but I guess it kind of is a little bit high. So I'm going to be trying to move that down a little bit, maybe to get it in the high 20s or like around 30. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. But yeah, I think finding a really good sensitivity for you is good. And if you're having trouble aiming, maybe try moving down your sensitivity a little bit. If you're like around in the 40s or something, maybe get it down in the 30s or 20s. See if it works better for you. Going along with that, I do think you guys should make sure your look acceleration is as low as you can comfortably play with it on. I had mine all the way up and just didn't want to touch it for a while, but I am moving it down slowly but surely every day, and eventually I will have it down to 1%, hopefully. And I think that's the most ideal just because it will be the most consistent for your aiming. My next tip is going to be just when you're playing in games, there's little things you can do to help your aim, especially if you're just playing like public matches that aren't too sweaty. If you have like a shotgun, I recommend practicing flick shots. Like if there's like a clear AI bot or someone, just like work on running straight and like doing quick turn flicks. You can also do this stuff on creative, on like actual like robots and stuff like that. But like if you don't want to waste time in creative, or not waste time, but like spend time in creative doing that stuff, in game you can easily just like practice like flick shots with shotguns and stuff like that. And if you get that stuff down, it'll make regular aiming just so much easier. And with ARs, it's kind of the same thing. What I like to do is I like to just try to use first shot accuracy as much as possible, because that'll make it so your aim is like pinpoint to the smallest it can be, like your bloom. There is no bloom. That way you'll know exactly whether or not your aim is like right on target if you're just using first shot accuracy on like bots and stuff like that. And sometimes it's good to just like follow them along with the thing scoped all the way in, just to see how well your tracking is. So I would definitely recommend practicing that and seeing like how accurately you can hit headshots with ARs using first shot accuracy. If that stuff isn't enough for you and you really want to take it to the next level and just go all out practicing aim, you can always go online, search. I'm not going to recommend any specific ones because there's like hundreds on hundreds that are just great, but just Google like aim courses for creative and you'll get a bunch of different codes. Test them out. There's lots of different ones you can choose from, between like tracking or like specific targets where you flick to, all sorts of different stuff, and they help a bunch. There's also apps in the App Store that are like it too. Either of those would be great. Another thing I really recommend is getting good at editing walls. This will help with your shotgun aim, because if you get good with doing the quick movements to make the edits on the walls, it'll make the similar quick movements to aim and hit like flick shots with shotguns and stuff way easier. And I think when you're practicing aim, it's really just like the flick shots and stuff that are important for practice when it comes to shotgun aim, because if you don't have to like move your screen much, then you probably already like can do that stuff, I'd imagine. Like I just recommend practicing the stuff that you need to practice and not the stuff that's easy, because a lot of the stuff that's easy you don't really need as much practice on. So make sure to challenge yourself, because you won't really get better unless you're challenging yourself. And even if it seems really hard at first, eventually you will get it. It's the same with anything in Fortnite. Like I remember when I was first like triple editing and stuff, I felt like I was never going to get it, but over time eventually you will get it. My last tip is going to be, say you're based up, whether it's in a regular solo or an arena game or something like that, practice your peek shots with like an AR or a sniper, either one, and just get good at peeking and then quickly being able to move to aim accurately. It'll help your aim a bunch, and it's helped mine. I hope this video was helpful and there were some tips that you took away from it. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.